What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some quick Destiny 2 news and updates from Bungie. Of course, Solstice is now live, and we're going to take a look at some of the new systems. Plus there's a glitch with the Dreamwork bonus that lets us get 7 Galahorn rockets at once. Plus it works for various other weapons, so we'll touch on that, as well as new potential roles on event weapons, and some updates on issues from Bungie. Plus we'll discuss Bungie's reduced communication, a few secrets and more inside of the recent update. Firstly though, today's video is sponsored by NordVPN, which is the ultimate form of online protection, definitely worth taking a look at considering how much time we spend online. And Nord creates a virtual location for all of our devices, which can be set up in more than 59 different locations, whether on public networks or our own home internet. And this protects our network integrity, including stopping DDoS attacks from disrupting our connections when gaming. But it's also helpful for avoiding geographical restrictions on content and even warding off bad guys with Nord's new threat protection feature, which grants extra security against web trackers, harmful sites, and infected files. But importantly, Nord is super easy to use, and the VPN has an auto-connect feature which does the job hassle-free. Just turn it on and do your thing. NordVPN is available on PCs at home, as well as mobile devices, and if you guys want to try it out risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee, be sure to head to nordvpn.com/houndish and use my code at checkout to get a 2-year plan plus an extra month free. All of the details for that are in the description box below. Now though, getting into the Destiny 2 stuff for today, after some extended downtime yesterday, Solstice finally went live. And of course the main thing a lot of folks are working on is the armor grind, where the basic loop is to collect silver leaves. One of the most effective ways to do that is via public events. And then you can convert the silver leaves into ash by playing the Bonfire Bash activity, and that ash can then be spent to re-roll the stats on armor pieces. But of course there are also 3 different tiers of armor upgrades that we can go through by earning and spending the kindling currency via the event challenges in the card. And if you're after specific stat rolls on a piece of gear or a high stat armor set in general, then this is pretty beneficial, but otherwise it'll come down to whether you like the cosmetic element of the armor this year. So give us your thoughts about that below, but one of the unexpected and interesting elements are some interactions we can have with weapons via the Dreamwork bonus. And this is the origin trait for the Solstice weapons, so it appears on the new hand cannon, which is called Something New, but also we get it on the Compass Rose shotgun that's been updated. And it's possible to get Dreamwork to refill the ammo of various weapons. So if you've got the hand cannon equipped, for example, as well as Galahorn, if you make an assist with the Dreamwork weapon, so damage an enemy, and then switch to the other weapon, which is Galahorn in this instance, when playing with teammates, if a teammate then finishes that enemy with a Dreamwork weapon, we actually get ammo back into the magazine of the weapon that we currently have in our hands. So this makes it possible to get 7 rounds in Galahorn. I've also seen folks doing it with Fourth Horseman and Parasite. I'm not sure if absolutely every weapon works, but you can get some incredibly high magazines. Obviously, firing off 7 Galahorn rounds is pretty wild. Lots of clips of 1 magazine Keitel kills and various bosses being deleted by ridiculous amounts of ammo in heavy weapons. Doesn't seem like something which Bungie have intended to happen, so it's definitely worth taking advantage because they could potentially fix it. Let us know your thoughts about that. But of course, on the subject of these weapons, something new is an aggressive frame hand cannon. And in terms of potential trait rolls, in the first slot it can get Feeding Frenzy, Wellspring, Stats for All, Triple Tap, Ensemble, or Tunnel Vision, and then the second trait slot can get Headstone, Demolitionist, Harmony, Multi-Kill Clip, Well-Rounded, and Thresh. Since some mixed opinions on the potential perks there, let us know if there are any roles that you want to go after. But also Compass Rose has been updated, and in the trait slots at least, it can get Lead from Gold, Quick Draw, Surplus, Air Assault, Turnabout, or Fragile Focus, with the second trait slot seeing Snapshot, Trench Barrel, Vorpal Weapon, Golden Tricorn, as well as Incandescent and Adagio. So the shotgun actually has some pretty interesting potential roles there. Another quick mention with this recent event is the addition of 2 new titles. So there's the Flamekeeper title for Solstice specifically, and it requires us to complete 24 of the challenges in order to unlock the seal. I think there are actually 28 different challenges inside of the seal there, so you don't technically have to complete all of them. And while it may be a little bit of a grind to get the title, it's definitely a relatively easy one to acquire. Then there is the multi-event seal, and this is Reveler, and we need to complete multiple event challenges for each of the events throughout the year. So 16 Guardian Games challenges, 16 from Solstice, another 16 from Festival of the Lost, and finally 16 from The Dawning. Let us know if you're working on the Solstice or multi-event seals right there. The only other interesting thing, folks were speculating about some of the concept art for Solstice, which featured an interesting shotgun in the background. Doesn't look like we're getting that shotgun in the game, but some players are speculating, could it be a thing or is it just a scrapped concept? Also for a moment, it looked like we could be getting another weapon, as there was a Cassoid Foundry icon added to the game. JP Deathblade tweeted this out, but it's just an update for Cassoid weapons, so things like Ariana's Vow now have the Cassoid logo on the inspection screen. And so we're probably not getting another new weapon. And for now, that leads us to just some of the patch changes. Initially though, Bungie Help did say that they're investigating an issue where the items in the Seashore set are not successfully unlocking for players after purchase. Bear that one in mind, and I'm sure they'll update it shortly. Then in the patch yesterday, some additional changes we weren't expecting to see include, for duality, that they adjusted the balance between armor and weapon drops, and set weapon drops to prefer those that have not had their patterns unlocked. Then they adjusted the drop chance of deep sight weapons in the duality dungeon, so a couple of buffs there to deep sight weapon drop rates. Then for abilities, they fixed a problem where Celestial Fire and Well of Radiance did not display the Scorch and Ignition keywords, plus an issue where Radiant's weapon damage boost was unintentionally stacking with tier 1 damage bonuses like Empowering Rift and High Energy Fire against PvE targets, so bit of a shame we lose that one. Plus they fixed an issue where Caliban's hand behavior was different between PvE and PvP, and the Ignition will now proc when defeating enemies by both direct hits and explosions for both PvE and PvP. Plus they have resolved issues where Caliban's hand wasn't working as intended with Radiant and Knock 'em Down perks. So those and a few other changes went live in the patch notes yesterday, most of which we knew about. And looking to Season 18, as Bungie said a week or so ago, for the new season they'll be revisiting some weapon subfamilies, legendary perk and exotic weapon tuning. Plus, we'll be seeing intrinsic anti-champion functionality added to several exotic weapons at the start of the new season as well, which could be pretty useful. So just a quick shout on that since they had mentioned it around the same time they announced some of the changes for Solstice. Either way, give us your thoughts on the Solstice event this year and whether you're going to be grinding for armor sets, weapon rolls, or any of the other items in the event. Moving on though, some additional things to talk about. And people in the community may have noticed over the past few weeks that Bungie have been quite a bit less active online, specifically when it comes to developers discussing the game, things that they're working on, and addressing feedback. And according to Bungie, this is for a specific reason. You may remember a few weeks back, there was a conversation about harassment in the community and certain players being abusive to developers on social media. And so on that subject, DMG said, "I dream of the day where video game developers can openly discuss their work without being harassed. Many in the comments say they do not condone harassment. I hope they also stand against it when they find that friends or family are engaging in it." And he goes on to say that cases of harassment against our developers have actively made it harder for us to communicate with the broader community. It has impacted more studios than just ours. I hope that more folks can stand against this behavior in any community, whether it be gaming related or other. And so it's the first time someone from Bungie has kind of directly said that the reduction in communication correlates very specifically to that increase in toxicity that we saw in the community. And that definitely is a shame because Bungie have been quite a bit more open about what they were working on related to Destiny. Of course, it also sucks that people who work for Bungie feel that they can't speak about the game and they have to close those channels off. And of course, as a company, Bungie have a duty to kind of protect their employees, which does take us to another lawsuit that Bungie have recently filed. And Destiny Bulletin tweeted that Bungie have filed a lawsuit against Destiny 2 Twitch streamer Miffy's World, who created 13 different accounts to evade in-game bans, as well as threatening and harassing Bungie and its employees. And so Bungie, taking this to court, are treating every single account as a separate breach of the LSLA. But also this individual made some very threatening comments to Bungie developers, stating that they were moving to Washington where the Bungie HQ is, stating that Bungie should keep its doors locked. And also they made references to specific developers and community managers, as well as selling Bungie donation emblems, which are rewards for charitable donations, and instead was distributing them for cash. And Bungie say that all of Leon's copyright infringement was willful, and while exact damages will be proven in the courtroom, right, Bungie are saying that they're entitled to $150,000 for each copyrighted work infringed. Plus they're pursuing other individual damages for every instance of cheating software that this individual used as well. So Bungie are going very hard against particular folks who have been all around pretty toxic, whether it's spoiling community initiatives, using cheats in the game, abusing devs on social media. It's pretty insane that there are folks adjacent to the community that have been behaving this way, although the individual in question is certainly going to have a pretty bad time with all the things that Bungie are bringing against them. And so give us your thoughts down below. While I absolutely agree that a feedback loop about the quality of Destiny, the direction of the game, and how things currently stand is an important thing to have, as we can see that feedback loop starts to break down, because there is simply no justification for that level of toxicity associated with how someone feels related to Destiny. So hopefully we'll see that improve in the community and Bungie find other channels and ways to communicate more. But I think we'll definitely see that restriction of communications continue, which is a tremendous shame. So again, give us your thoughts down below. And as a community, we should actively work to stamp out toxicity, especially very threatening behavior towards individuals who ultimately don't make all of the decisions about Destiny anyway, right? And so I'll link some of the articles about that down below. Final quick thing to mention here though, but PlayStation tweeted that the agreement to acquire Bungie has officially closed and welcomes them to the PlayStation family. We heard about this news a little while back, but now it's official. It's no longer a plan, and PlayStation have acquired Bungie. But Bungie do hammer down that Destiny 2 will remain on multiple platforms, and games will also continue to be where the community is, wherever they choose to play. And so they're saying that they maintain that multi-platform commitment. A lot of people worry about exclusives and things like that, but I think for Destiny, especially in its current direction, and for the wider health of video games, it's becoming more apparent to publishers and developers that exclusives and platform limitations are probably no longer going to continue to be good business decisions, right? So I'd like to hope at least that we don't have to worry about that too much. But again, give us your thoughts down below. And for today, guys, that is what we have to talk about inside of the video. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Once again, feel free to give us your thoughts in the comment section. And if you've enjoyed the video today, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Plus, feel free to get subscribed for more Destiny content. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.